So you want to go to graduate school.
So you want to go to graduate school.
So you want to go to graduate school, huh?
So you want to go to health professional school.
So you want to go to school in the sciences.
So you want to go to law school.
So you're thinking about graduate school?
When you're talking about graduate schools and graduate programs in business, the program that you're always talking about in most cases is an MBA.
Master's degrees are pretty common for students who want some kind of a terminal degree that leads to a job that's a little more specialized. It's going to give them a little bit more of a background and a skill set in an area.
In the humanities, all sorts of graduate degrees are available. History, English, American Studies. There's a wide variety of graduate degrees possible.
Most of the graduate degrees that are available in health-related fields are MD degree, medicine, PharmD for pharmacy. You have the DDS for dental. All of these types of programs, though, are considered graduate level in that they lead to a terminal degree, usually a doctoral level degree.
So certainly there's graduate school in chemistry. Sometimes that includes biochemistry, but not always. You know, the distinction between where chemistry ends and biology begins, it's kind of dependent on what school you're at. Obviously there's physics as well, which tend to have its own department. And of course math and computer science tend to be their individual units. The unusual one is biology. Biology is so big that sometimes you just have a biology department, but more often you have kind of smaller disciplines within biology.
So it really depends what you are interested in pursuing. But regularly either you're looking for an MA, an MFA, or a doctoral degree.
In talking about whether you want to go to a grad school, I think what you need to do is not to worry so much about what other people do or what other people tell you to do, but to think about what you want to do with your career. I think the worst reason to go to any graduate program is to kill some time until you kind of figure out what you want to do in life.
Probably people who go to law school today because there's nothing else to do are making a bit of a mistake.
In general, the ones who aren't as well matched for the field are those who don't have a clear understanding of what it's about. Perhaps they've seen on TV shows related to medicine and have the perception that that is what real-world medicine is like, and it's very different from that.
Probably the worst reason to go to graduate school is because you have nothing else to do.
I think it's important as an undergraduate to sample and to get as broad an education as possible. Once you get to graduate school, the expectation is that you will narrow and you will get a focused, intensive study about a specific, discipline and become an expert in that field.
We really begin to narrow as we think about graduate school because you're focusing on a specialty now. It's not the same broad experience that you get as an undergraduate. So
the thing to keep in mind about an MBA is that it really has a couple of different functions. Often it's for a student who has gone to work, maybe has a business degree undergraduate, maybe doesn't have a business degree undergraduate, and has decided they really want to focus on one area.
The major reason for going to law school is a desire to practice law. That's not to say that people with law degrees do not do other things, but it really makes little sense to go to law school for 3 years right out of college and anticipate never practicing law.
I do like the work. The work is what it comes down to, because that's what you're doing every day. You're using your time to solve a scientific question. And you really, it's really nice to really care about that question.
If you're really passionate about researching, scholarship, and teaching, those are kind of the three components thinking about graduate school, then it's for you. You need to be committed and invested in a particular project that you're interested in doing.
I think the best way for a student to prepare for graduate school is to try to have some kind of a research experience, to try to have some research methodology courses, and to feel pretty confident in their writing ability.
The three skills that I think any college graduate should have who is planning to attend law school or practice law are writing ability, deductive reasoning ability, and some speaking ability.
The best way for students to get experience in the Richmond area is to take advantage of our preceptorship program that matches our undergraduate pre-L students with professionals in the community.
The great thing about Richmond is that you're working one-on-one with a professor and all the undergrads do the work. I mean, I'm in labs sometimes, but it's not often. It's almost all my undergraduates who do the work. And you really get that strong mentorship because there's no buffer between you and the professor.
I passionately recommend that people don't go straight into graduate school. And it's a big, huge advantage to be out in the world for a year, 2 years, 3, before you actually go back to graduate school to get a master's or a PhD or what have you.
More and more opportunities have presented themselves to students now in terms of doing 1-year research stints with the NIH, to the Peace Corps, to Teach for America, AmeriCorps Vista, that grab the attention of our students while they're undergraduates. And the professional schools realize now that those types of experiences are character building.
One of the things that I've learned over the years from talking to students who have graduated, gone on to graduate school and reported back to me, is they feel very well trained relative to their peers. And that has always led me to say to our students, particularly our really strong students, you know, shoot for the moon. Go for the best program you can get into.
Going to a higher rated school is probably better than not. And the reason is that if you're really trying to get a career off to a good start, the higher the rating of the school, the more likely that big name companies are going to come and recruit.
Recognize that there are hundreds of law schools in this country. I can't give you an exact number, but somewhere in the neighborhood of 350 law schools.
Choosing a professional school is not unlike choosing a college, an undergraduate experience. There are a number of factors that come into play there, everything from one's preference for a geographic location.
For theater people, of course, like, everybody wants to be in New York, right? And so you kind of have to figure out whether it's more important to be surrounded in an intellectual community that's vibrant, or do you also need kind of that outside community that has cultural diversity?
When you look at graduate school, you say, well, does it have the program that suits me, and does it have the people, you know, who are going to be good teachers and good mentors?
If you had to choose between a person and a school, I'd go for the person, because in the scientific community, it's very small. It doesn't matter where they are. You know the person, the advisor, and their work, and you know if they do good work or not, and the person is going to get you the job.
So the program itself has to have something going on, something attractive other than just one professor, but those sorts of personalities will also drive why it is that you're interested in the program.
One of the most important things you can do in graduate school is to get off to a very good start. And so anybody who goes to graduate school needs to really focus the first semester, because normally graduate programs are pretty small and faculty know pretty much right away who's for real and who's not.
I loved grad school. It was great. My only thing I did was have fun and work on science projects. My life was so simple then, I think back. It was wonderful. I loved grad school. Loved it to pieces.